My name is Riley Christianssen, and today I'm going to be talking about Dr. Martin Luther King's speech, I Have a Dream. This speech happened during the Civil Rights Movement in 1963, and it was given on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. Along with it being on the National Mall, many people gathered around the reflection pool and proclaimed their need for freedom from the segregation that riddled their lives at the time. And even though the speech is very inspirational, it's very, very long. And so I'm going to be reading an excerpt that maybe hasn't been heard a ton, but is very influential. And it says, "We have also come to this hallowed spot to remind America of the fierce urgency of now. This is no time to engage in the luxury of cooling off or taking the tranquilizing drug of gradualism. Now is the time to make the real promises of democracy. Now is the time to rise from the dark and desolate valley of segregation to the sunlit path of racial justice. Now is the time to lift our nation from the quicksands of racial injustice to show the solid rock of our brotherhood. Now is the time to make justice a reality for all of God's children. It would be fatal for the nation to overlook the urgency of the movement. The sweltering summer of the Negro's legitimate discontent will not pass until there is invigorating autumn of freedom and equality. 1963 is not an end, but a beginning. And those who hope that the Negro needed to blow off steam and will now be content will have a rude awakening if the nation returns to business as usual, and there will be neither rest nor tranquility in America until the Negro is granted his citizenship rights. The whirlwind of revolt will continue to shake the foundation of our nation until the bright day of justice arises." This passage shows the African American people, their passion for desegregation and their passion to get the rights that were promised to them by our founding fathers. You could say, how does this relate to me? And it shook everything that we believed in. Our social structure was changed. Everything was changed in America. This hit home to me because some of my very close friends, or very close family friends, who are like my aunts and uncles, they experienced the civil rights movement. One man did a sit-in in Alabama, and one of my dear aunt, who I'm actually named after, her brother was lynched during the civil rights movement. And so when they were telling me about this, I was so taken back. And as well as we had some neighbors down in Alabama who experienced the civil rights movement from a different perspective. So I am getting all these perspectives from the civil rights movement, and it just hit so close to home that I felt that this passage really explained the need for justice everywhere, not just in America at the time, but it led to movements such as gay rights, women's rights, and so many other things. So I think we could take this and change it into something where we can use this as an example to stand up for what we believe in, because they did, and now look what has happened. We can change the world with a few simple words. Thanks for watching.